All right, hello everybody. Today, the topic we're talking about is what you have, quote, ruined, what you feel like you've ruined. God will make new. God, if you understand God as divine love, even if you understand as love can make new. Love can turn it into something different. All right, so here's the example that came to me for us, right? I get these for us. So we were making pasta, right? My son and I. Homemade pasta. And we made the shells all wrong. He's really good at knowing how to do all that stuff. And so he, later on, I had to go to work or something, and he took the dough and all the shells that we had made, right? It took us like an hour and a half to make these shells. And but we were making them for our friend's house they were hosting us, so we were going to bring this macaroni and cheese, right? And like homemade. Anyway, right? Take this for your life. This is a deep teaching for your own life. And so what he did, I asked him, hey, so what did you do with all those shells that we spent so long making? And he said, I squished them all up and rolled them all out and put them through the pasta machine, this pasta maker that from that someone else had that we were anyway. And so what it does is it flattens it out. I have one that you use a crank now, and it flattens it all out. And so we were making pasta again last night with our friends, and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I have to put it through this 7 times, Mom. And of course, 7 is this biblical number of completion and everything. God created the earth in 7 days. And I always welcome all religions, so just understand this for yourself for a second, right? Is why do you think, why have we, I was brought up, and I use this example for everybody. I was brought up by this perfectionist. My dad couldn't do anything right by his own dad, and then I couldn't do much right. My dad would compliment me, but it was never enough. That's what egotism says. It's never enough. And so we can feel like, especially if you have intense feelings like I do, which thank God, because then I can bring all of this to the different levels of feelings that you guys, if you have intense ones or lower ones and lower ones, like if you feel like, oh, I've done this thing and I've ruined my life, and I've ruined other people's lives, and I've ruined, we get this extreme sense that it can never be fixed, because that's how we felt in childhood. When we felt shamed and rejected and cast aside in childhood, we felt like we just ruined, our parents' lives or our lives, and that they were going to stop feeding us and that we would die or something, that it could never get better, because we didn't have a sense of time then. We'd only lived 7 years, let's say. And so some people say that like a day for a child is like experiencing a month of time. Time is different when you haven't had a long period of time to experience life in. And so we have this feeling. Let's just get present in this moment. Know yourself as more than your name, more than your childhood, more than this moment. You are like these trees, you are like the wind in the trees, this animated soul being that's beyond your name, beyond anything that's happened. If you sincerely, right? I was reading this book, I think it was from the 1300s last night, from Matilda Magdeburg, and she was praying intensely with God, and God told her in her heart, and check this with scriptures, is that a sincere person who apologizes for their sin, God said to her, will always be forgiven. And I was like, then we can just pray that we're sincerely sorry, You know, we're sincerely sorry for ruining in other people's lives, the way we've ruined them, the way we've brought them into less love instead of highest love, you know. The word sin means to miss the mark. It just means to miss this mark of perfection, you're not hitting the bullseye of highest love. And God is patient and will keep teaching you to learn how to have highest love, because he wants you to have highest love in your own heart. You know, I have this, right? And so understand, why do we ruin our own lives and self-sabotage and ruin our jobs and quote ruin, you know, quote, it's not ruined, because God can just roll it up like pasta dough and put it through his own God machine. You know, it's more than a machine. His machine is just this shining light of the sun that purifies us, you know. It's like the sun. God is like the flattener, like the sun, like the potter with the clay. He can remake us. We're made anew. It says you are a new creation once you're like baptized in Christ Jesus. But understand that wherever you're coming from, I want you to understand divine love can do this for you, right? And so I was reflecting on the way here. I was like, why would we ruin our lives? I'm like, oh, I got it just in the silence. Because we felt like someone else ruined us. You know, we felt like if you had abuse or trauma in childhood in some kind, you felt like they ruined me. Now I'm ruined. And when you walk around this world telling everyone, wearing a t-shirt that says I'm ruined, they'll ruin you as well, because they're just reading your t-shirt. It's not personal. They're reading your t-shirt. You got to ask God to change this t-shirt, because it's not true that they ruined you. It's just a truth that you believed. It's not true. It's how they treated you, but it's not true. And so I'm here to tell you it's not true. And God can remake us. Divine love is just love. Will permeate through and remake us. Thank you for being here. I honor your presence.